Nico's Taco and Tequila Bar, 2260 Como Avenue. They've been nice enough to let us use this beautiful patio, and what a beautiful morning we have. I'm here with Jen Swanson. Jen was previously the Director of Digital at Children's Hospitals, VP of Digital Product at Optum, and most recently, out on your own, Jen Swanson Consulting.
That's right.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
So when I think of you and your expertise, the two words that come to mind are digital transformation.
Yep.
So why don't you help us by defining what that means?
Well, for me and for the work I do with my clients, it's really about looking at how technology, the investment around technology, goes beyond just, hey, we've got a great website or we've got an app, but it really is about how that integration of technology runs across the business,
Yep.
Marketing, operations, service delivery, even back office operations, to really fulfill on the promise of that customer experience.
Okay.
And it really is about the entire organization, not just marketing being digital or IT, right? It's about the whole
integrated
organization.
approach.
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool. So one of the things that I think is really important when people are considering like this type of transformation is the speed of change. And I know that you wrote something about that recently on LinkedIn. So tell me a little bit about either why you think this is so important and why people need to do this because of this idea of speed of change.
Well, so speed of change comes up quite often in a couple of different ways. One is the feeling that everything out there is changing so fast, right? Consumer expectations are changing quickly.
Yep.
Technology is changing quickly. Just the world is evolving in massive ways every day.
People feel overwhelmed, left behind.
And companies feel that way too, right? They feel like, oh gosh, we're still working on an investment we started 2 or 3 years ago, and it hasn't really come together yet.
And it might not be relevant today.
Exactly. And so for me, speed of change is really looking at like how can you use principles of Agile, right? And I'm not an Agile evangelist in the software development methodology standpoint, although I certainly believe in the principles of speed, working on small chunks of value at a time, seeing how it works, right? So you develop or you build, you put it in the marketplace, whatever that looks like, you learn from it and you do the next thing rather than saying, okay, we're going to start something now and we're going to see how it turns out in 18 months. And so that allows businesses and individuals to learn faster and adjust to that speed of change in, I think, a much more manageable way than saying, let's go all in and see how it turns out.
Yeah, we, from a digital marketing standpoint, use this like bimodal approach where we have kind of our core set of campaigns or ads, and then we have kind of this edge tests that we're always running.
And
believe
that applies,
in that idea.
That applies to customer service and operations as well, right? Like you don't have to overhaul your entire operations model, but you can say, we're going to take this team and we're going to try doing something differently in terms of how we deliver the product to the customer, and we're going to see how that works. We're going to see if we can do it faster, better, with more value, to the customer or to us, right? And see how that works. And if it works, then we scale it. If it doesn't, then we go try something else. Yeah. Like those principles of Agile apply across the business, and that's really where I come in.
Very cool. So obviously you've done a lot of this and seen a lot of this in action. So what are some of those common pitfalls, or people who are thinking about like taking on this type of initiative? What should they really be thinking about? Where do the problems lie?
Well, so I hate to break this to you, but it matters little what technology you're talking about. So if you were hoping that I was going to give you some you really got to be looking at these platforms, it isn't at all about the technology, and it is 100% about the people. Okay. The sort of the little known secret about digital transformation is that it really is about organizational effectiveness, getting the right people in the right seats. Who
having
understand
the right buy-in from leadership.
Exactly, and having teams that are trained and equipped to work differently. Right. So sometimes that means breaking down traditional team structures. Sometimes that means, it always means breaking down silos of this is mine, that's yours, because that no longer works, right? Like I'm IT, don't touch it, or I'm marketing, I don't want you involved. That this becomes a much more cross-functional matrixed kind of work. And so I think that the number one pitfall is thinking about that and thinking about it in terms of a technology project rather than thinking about it as a people initiative.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I feel like even in digital marketing alone, it's really the people that matter more so than the platforms. Like everybody knows how to use Google Ads, right? We do, our competitors do, but it's the brains that are making the decisions on
what you use it.
Exactly.
You know, you hate to say this, but the platforms are becoming commoditized, right?
Yep.
And at a certain point, you got to pick one, commit to it, and then organize your team and your culture and your structure around getting the most out of it. Right?
Yeah, that's great stuff. So the recession has been in the news.
Yes, everyone's talking about it.
We just wrote a blog post about why you should invest in marketing during a recession. So I imagine this digital transformation work isn't necessarily inexpensive to do. It takes a lot of an investment, and so leaders might be thinking, hey, this isn't the right time. Is there a right time for digital transformation?
So, in my opinion, it's always the right time to invest in digital transformation. And the reality is that digital transformation doesn't have to be about going off and spending $1 billion on whatever the latest technology platforms are. Innovation is really about making evolutionary steps with what you've got, right?
Yeah.
Invention is going out and getting something new or building something new. But innovation is taking what you've got and saying, how can we do it better, faster? In my opinion, innovation and digital transformation and investing in looking at the organization that you have now to be able to do it better is the ultimate recession project, right? Initiative. Because it doesn't have to be about going out to spend a ton of new money. It can be about getting more out of what you've got, right?
You could gain efficiencies.
Absolutely.
It could actually make your processes less expensive.
Exactly. It's about, so for me, the key drivers that you can, or the key outcomes that you get out of digital transformation is greater predictability and clarity into your processes. Again, whether that's your marketing processes, it's your sales processes, it's your product development, sort of iterative processes, better quality, a clearer return on investment, that innovation piece, product market fit. Those are all things that are going to matter a great deal when the economy turns.
Yeah.
They also matter now, while it's cooking.
So get to work. All right. Well, this has been super fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank
Cheers.
You. Cheers.
Thanks to Nico.
Thanks to Nico.